check out what's going on here in the shop this week. So if you remember, we had a 55 BMW headlight and fender come in. Sean stripped the headlight, bucket down, bodyworked it, primed it, and then blocked it, and then re-primed it. And the customer wants to take it back like this for now until he himself fits the bike together, which makes sense. No point painting it unless he's fitted it together. So there's the headlight, and I believe the fender, there is a fender around here somewhere. Where did that go? Here we go. There's the fender for the bike. This was all caved in and bent, and Sean got that straight. There's a little, you can't see it, but the fender flares out here, just along this edge. Got all that straightened up. So he's working on the fender here. Let's see if we can. There you go, get a better look of it. So he's got that going on. Looks like he's almost looks like he is almost ready for first primer on that. And the 67 Galaxy, there we are. The roof, the doors, the quarters, and the trunk lid are in first primer. Now what will happen next is the doors and trunk lid will come off. Sean will then work the inner parts of them and get them in primer. Then he'll start blocking out the rest of this body and doors, obviously on the outside, pardon me, and he'll get it in final primer. And then we've been working on the front. We've got the cowl piece. If you don't know what the cowl is, the cowl goes up between your windshield and your hood. He's got that all done in first primer. The hood's done. Then it's just two fenders. So actually, he's moving along on this one quite quickly compared to where we were a few days ago. He's just giving her. This guy's just making this a nice driving car. This again is not, he's not into show cars. He's not building this for a show car. He doesn't plan on going to car shows. It was his dad's car, and it's in the family, and they just want to cruise around in it and have fun. That's all they want to do. So he said, no, this isn't for car shows for me. I just want to jump in it, go for a Sunday drive, have some fun with it, smoke the tires once in a while, call it a day. So that's all fine. So that's what's happening there. I'm working on a few things. I'm getting ready. So the owner had brought us a hood, a reproduction hood for this Mustang. And so I went and grabbed his old hood hinges and put them on. And the suckers, I showed you in one video. I got the one. I got the passenger side freed up. The driver's side, doesn't matter what I do. Holy God, heat, cold, oil, doesn't matter. That son of a bitch does not want to move. So he bought me another set here, which do move, so that's good. So I'm going to stick them on there, and then we're going to put this hood on here and see how that fits. So that is what's going on there. And then the Mustang can, once we fit the hood and we get that all done, we blow it apart, start painting all in the firewall area and the inner frame, and do the dash in that. Then it's put the engine tranny in, start getting Chris to get the wiring in it, get a dry shaft in it. You know, get the what do you call it? The exhaust on it. Get the brakes hooked up, and because you want to do all that, in our opinion anyway, you want to do all that before you paint it. At least that way you're not leaning over a freshly painted car. So that's the plan. And I don't think it's a panic right now with this gentleman because winter's on the way here anyway. So even if it was done, he's not going to drive it right now. But doesn't mean we don't continue to work on it because I have a lot of jobs to get in here. So I'd like to get this one done. There's the hood. That's the only piece left to paint for Big Red. So I'm playing with Big Red here a little bit today. I showed you in a video past that I got the rad support finally cleaned up and painted. So now I'm going to try and get the rad support on Big Red today. There we go. Don't worry, the door's just not closed if you're seeing that in the video. Sometimes people write to me and they say, Rick, I see a run or I see something. Last time a guy wrote to me, he saw the video of the VW in the shop and he goes, what's that on the... I don't believe these guys how closely they work. If you look at 1 minute and 42 seconds, I see a run on that fender. And I was like, well, that's funny because I don't see a run and neither does the owner. The lighting really throws things off. Sometimes you get shadowing, so yeah. Oh, look, somebody's made themselves the home here on Big Red. I guess they figured that they're going to live there. We'll get rid of them. There we go. Gone. Wow. Oh, he's a big sucker, too. Look at the size of him. See him? Holy Christ. He's probably pissed off now. Anyway. So, yeah, we're going to get this rad support in. I'm just washing a little bit of the grease away off the frame. There isn't too much. I always kept this truck fairly clean. I'm the guy that keeps under the engine area clean. So I'm gonna try to get the rad support on there today. I got to work on customer stuff too, but yeah, see what I can get done here. So maybe I'll continue this video. Maybe I'll come back to you guys in a little bit and we'll see if we can't show you it with the rad support on anyway. Okay, well, like normal with everything I do, I can't leave things alone. I just get too involved. So those of you following me, you know that I'm going to be selling Big Red, use my shop truck. I've owned this truck for nearly 16, 17 years. And anyway, we cleaned it up, we gave it a paint job, you know. It was time. I was going to redo it, I was going to paint it before I even decided to sell it, and then I just decided to sell it when I was halfway through doing the bodywork on it. And anyway, today I said I was going to put the rad support in between working here. But of course, as normal, I got carried away, and I thought, well, you know what? Whoever buys the truck, I've got a brand new water pump laying here, and the fenders are off and the rad support's out. Maybe let's put a water pump on it. Then I was like, you know what? The valve cover gaskets are leaking a bit, and I can't sell the truck with the valve cover gaskets leaking. I mean, they were leaking actually quite a bit. It's got a slight little leak from the rear main seal, but, you know, like how carried away do you get, right? So I thought I'll throw a set of valve cover gaskets on. So I dig around the shop, you know, try and not spend money. I can't find no valve cover gaskets. But what I do find is a pair of chrome valve covers with gaskets glued on them already. Well, I know I'm not going to try and take these valve covers, the gaskets off the valve covers, because what's the point? So what happens? I end up putting the chrome valve covers on here. And then I decide, well, now the chrome valve covers aren't enough. It needs a little something else. So anyway, 2.5 hours later, this is what happens. So the rad support did go in. But while I changed the water pump, I decided, well, I may as well paint the fan while it's off. Then I decided I may as well paint the lower pulley while it's off. And of course, I'm going to paint the new water pump, right? Then I decide, well, I may as well paint the bracket for the alternator. I may as well wash and clean up the alternator. Then I decide, well, I may as well paint. Then I may as well put on. I got to change my valve cover gaskets. So there we go. So now I found these chrome valve covers. So then I put chrome valve covers on. Then I find a chrome oil tube and a dipstick. Then I find a chrome power steering cap. Oh my God. So then I'm digging around. Then I find a chrome vacuum advance cap back there. Not that it really makes this engine look any better. I mean, it's a clean engine, but you can see the paint's coming off it in areas and stuff like that. And some of you are going to say, why didn't you rattle can it while you had it apart like that? The problem is, they're trying to rattle can that. To me, you'd have to pull the hose off, pull the valve, or pull the carburetor off, pull everything off, pull the headers off. I can't stand it when people just get under the hood, they wash their engine, they rattle can all over it like that and call it a day. It just looks like shit. I would sooner have my engine looking clean with a few freshly painted parts on it, or at least it looks like I look after it and maintain it. So that's what happened here. But at the end of the day, the rad support did go in, but I've got a few pieces that go for the rad support that I didn't realize weren't painted yet. There's a piece that goes on top here and a few things like that. So then I had to go and paint those. Now, those guys that are putting these trucks together, any kind of truck together, the idea of these trucks when you're putting them together like this, snug up your rad support bolts, but don't tighten them completely. Just snug them up, and then put your fenders and shit like that on, and put a couple bolts in them here and there, and then start lining your fenders up to the doors and all that, right? You know what I'm saying? If you just tighten the rad support down, there is movement in it, forward and side to side. Very little, but there is movement there, and that's all it takes to throw things off. So I just snugged it on there. So one day, hopefully here during the week, I will get the inner fenders and the fenders back on Big Red. And then the only thing left to do is get the hood painted. I mean, we're going on November tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, November now. What am I saying? It's November now. And I got to get this thing done because the cold weather's coming. And, you know, she's got antifreeze in the block, but now the rad's out. And I don't want to leave it like this. I want to have her up and running again. So anyway, Big Red got a few snazzy new parts in there today. You know, we got a couple little shiny bits. Maybe some young guy will come along and, you know, he'll like the look of Big Red, and he'll be like, I want to buy that truck, you know, and he'll pop the hood and see them few chrome shiny things, and that'll make him happy. I know when I was young, I couldn't afford a lot, and to have a set of chrome valve covers and a chrome air cleaner meant the world to me, you know. So, but yeah. So anyway, we'll take one last look at Big Red. You know, it's the factory crimson red color. I'm taking the tires and wheels off, and the wheels are getting all powder coated, white. You know, I gotta put the bumpers on it still. You know, the box has been raptored inside. It's a decent truck. I'm not gonna say it's mint inside the cab because it's not, but it's clean. It's got an original seat, but out of a different truck. That's why it's blue. So I'm going to put a seat cover on it. You know, I've you know, the dash pad's all cracked, so this is one of those cheap $20 carpet things I put on it years ago. But the heater works, the gauges work, you know, the radio works, the wipers work, all the lights work. You know, it's all original. It's got new front window in it with a seal. I mean, a new back window with a seal, slider, new front window. You know, I put all new door seals in it. I put all new window fuzzies on it. All new channels down in here. That's all new, so that's good. You know, the whole truck is actually original parts. There's no aftermarket parts except for one fender and one inner fender on this truck. That's it. Tailgate, box, doors, everything is original GM from the day. So that's what goes on there. It's got a good trailer hitch on it. Tows 5,000 pounds easily all day long. Heavy 3/4 ton, posi rear end, brand new transmission rebuilt, brand new shocks all the way around. Rad and heater core, 2 years old. What can I tell you? New exhaust. Engine I put in there, I don't know, I'm going to say for sure 8, maybe no more than 10 years ago. It's got around 70, 80,000 miles on it now, but it runs strong as hell. I mean, the thing goes like a rocket. It's cammed up, got a stall converter, 1800 stall. It's a good truck. It's a really good truck. Steering is tight. Mind you, I had the steering box rebuilt, so that's all new, but steering is tight. Brakes were new a year ago. Just a decent truck. It's going to be sad to see Big Red go, but we got to move on. So that being said, the sun is going down, and I'm getting hungry, and I'm going to call it a night. So, I was hoping to get a little further. I was hoping to get the rad support on there and get at least one fender on, but I didn't. But that's okay, because somebody out there is going to buy a truck with brand new chrome valve covers and gaskets. So anyway, remember, it's always a good time and old time. We'll see you next time.